Welkom bij Vodafone Firestarters, een nieuwe aflevering. Vandaag vanaf 5 Days Off in Amsterdam. Met opnieuw natuurlijk een gesprek over muziek, want we zitten bij 5 Days Off. We gaan het nu hebben over innovatie en mobiel internet met mijn gasten van vanavond. Allereerst world-renowned DJ, producer en radiohost Dave Clark.
Hallo.
Mira Driessen, creative director, als ik het zo mag zeggen, van The Sugar Factory. En natuurlijk mijn co-host Wanna Be a Star. Het onderwerp waar we het vandaag over willen hebben is the future of clubbing. And because Dave is here present with us, we're going to make it a little bit easier for him. En we gaan het in het Engels doen. Dave, you as a DJ who travels the world all over, and we're going to talk about the future of clubbing. What would you consider something that that would make your life easier, but that isn't there while touring the world? Like a pill.
Teleportation.
Teleportation?
Teleportation would be absolutely fantastic. I love Schiphol, but the moment you leave Schiphol, you just never know what's going to be on the other side. So, teleportation and some.
Have you looked into it?
I saw the film The Fly. Didn't kind of work out too well. Yeah. So I'll let someone else be the guinea pig on that one, I think. But also like a standardized rider, because when I first started, generally you would turn up with a couple of boxes of records, headphones, and some needles as well. And now you turn up with a computer and everyone has a different setup, and that's okay at a festival when you have a rolling riser, which is a setup which moves, but if you're turning up to a club, it can be a little bit painful sometimes. So I'm kind of hoping at one point it's going to become standardized again.
I like the ones who are just defining themselves, like, you know, everybody takes their own cockpit to work with, you know, and everybody's different. If I look to Frans Oké, he has a totally different setup than if I look, for example, to you or somebody who's just bringing his laptop. So standardizing, I don't believe in it.
How many cockpits do you have in your club, though?
Well, I believe in, you know, creating cockpits for the artist, because it's an artistic part.
But not all clubs are like that. That's the problem.
I know, but I think it's really interesting.
So what does your dream Sugar Factory look like?
I think in software and hardware, and I think like the club is a hardware computer, and in there you have just software which you upgrade all the time, and you just go. Any new evolvement, any new innovation should be there.
Dave, you're traveling around the world. What's the most, would you say, futuristic club you've played in, and did you like it?
Oh, futuristic. I don't know, because the futuristic side is actually what you bring to the club in a way. You know, computers, telephones. You know,
we'll get to that later.
That's the futuristic side. I don't know about. I mean, a lot of lights are changing now, which is kind of cool. Like with the whole LED revolution, I was kind of excited that electricity bills are going to go down for everyone. But no, just adding shitloads of LEDs now. But you know, from a lighting perspective, you definitely see it. From another technical perspective, like sound-wise, is a lot more subtle. You don't see it as what you hear. And there's a lot better sound systems now. But as for like futuristic, I don't really see that many clubs where you come out the floor like my grandma once wanted me to do. She always thought I came out the floor, because I'm in the music business. She was 93, and one of those German Wurlitzers, you know. There's nothing that futuristic where you come out the floor. But there's some great settings. But it's all, I think the technology is all hidden, and that's kind of good. I think Club Air itself is quite futuristic, but it's also very, very cold for that. It's very futuristic in its money taking capabilities.
Yeah.
But you know, the other side is much more hidden, I think.
So let's go to the first of our subjects to talk about. We've got a little clip to introduce that. Just having a proper sound system, is it enough for the modern clubber? All senses need to be entertained. Yes or no?
At Sugar Factory, I would say yes. But if I look to real, just, you know, very good sound systems, and just a bunker, and just some LED lights, or, you know, then it's just about sound system and drinks, and that's it. And then it can be very good. And then it's no.
Dave?
I agree. Yes and no. Generally, what's happening with a lot of clubbers at sort of events like that is what used to happen to very poor hard drives, which is fragmentation of the memory. And what's happening is they're not concentrating on one thing. They're splitting themselves over different things, and therefore the vibe becomes more like a circus, which for that kind of music suits that kind of music. But
it also suits the crowd. I think it totally depends on the crowd.
yeah,
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
it also
I
depends
think
on what
you
you're
get
going to
different
attract.
kinds of crowd.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
No,
so, yeah.
I think some crowds like both. You know, you have people who just come to Sugar Factory and they like entertainment. They go to like sensations and they love entertainment. And sometimes you go for experience.
But
And
I think-
sometimes you just go for
Well, I think Awakenings
Music.
is a good bridge.
Yeah.
Because if you go to Awakenings, it's in this old 19th century building, full of lasers, full of incredible LEDs, occasional fireworks, but not to the point where it's there, where, you know, it might as well just be like Le Cirque du Soleil or something.
Do you think the audience changed in,
Definitely.
let's say, the last 20 years, maybe?
Definitely. In some ways, technology has driven that change of audience in a way. The demise of vinyl has definitely changed that audience, because the record shop used to be a central hub of delicacies. And without that, I've never met an iTunes Genius program that understands my music. I've never met a computer program that understands my music. But by going to record shops, there always used to be some sort of moody guy who generally wouldn't, you know, Nick Hornby wrote about these people anyway, who generally wouldn't talk to people, but he would have good types of music, and that would keep it going in some ways. So definitely the demise of the record industry has changed clubbing. But it's a change that I accept. I'm not going to go misty-eyed backwards. The other thing that's changed clubbing in certain territories is the smoking laws. Because it's weird, I was doing an interview about this. The smoking laws, say in Ireland and in Italy, mean that at some point, I thought maybe someone dropped a stink bomb somewhere. But no, it's the smoking break. You have to go out and have a smoking break now and talk to your mates for 20 minutes. And that's kind of strange in some clubs. And the other change is the advent of the smartphone. The fact that clubbers are more intent in telling other people what a great time they're having than actually realizing the great time they're having themselves. It's kind of go back 20 years when people used to take shitloads of photographs of their holiday without taking their holiday, and then boring the arse off everyone else with a laser pointer, showing slides of their holiday, of them having a good time, but actually not participating in the event.
Yeah.
It's all outward showing for those generation of people, I think.
I just wanted to talk about attention span when we talk about the clubber that changed. I mean, the 30-second DJ is quite popular at the moment. You've got some of the guys playing at nights in the Sugar Factory. Is that something that you see as something negative?
it's a sign of the time. I would say, you know, that the time people stay is about 5 hours. And, you know, they come in at 11 and they leave at 4, or they come in at 1 and they want to leave at 6. And it's kind of maximum of 5 hours. And in that 5 hours, they want to lose time. And in that 5 hours of losing time, it's all depending if one DJ is maybe playing 3 hours and can take them on a trip. Or a lot of DJs are, you know, playing 30 seconds and 30 minutes and whatever. And there's so much going on that they also forget time. So at the end, it's all about losing time. And I think that is what club is about.
There is a big change, though, and the big change is linear technology. I don't know if many of you saw the Owl in Daylight documentary. They had Philip Stark talking incredible English franglais. But one of the points he mentioned very, very successfully was linear is gone.
Exactly.
In the old days, in the studio, what you recorded to was linear. Whether it was a tape, reel-to-reel, DAT tape, or even a CD, it was linear. Now there is no such thing as linear, and that's good. It means that you can multitask and actually go off in different dimensions. I don't agree in the 30-second DJ, but of course I'm bound to say that. I think anyone in this room would be surprised if I was going to go, what a great idea. But the whole thing has changed where it doesn't have to be one track into just another. And that's the hip-hop thing that you brought in. It's true, because the hip-hop DJ, I came from a hip-hop background, was taking advantage of the lack of technology to try and make it non-linear in a way. So the fact that linear technology has completely gone now means that we're heading into a whole new realm of possibilities, and the only thing that limits us, aside from Gordon Moore's law, is basically, hopefully at some point, and I keep saying it when our computers get to 64-bit, is going to be our imagination, and that's going to be what limits us. And if our imagination is set to be free, then all the bad things that I mentioned before are going to be hopefully replaced by very, very good clubbing experiences.
Not for everything. Sometimes you have illegal parties or parties in that the sound system isn't that great, but the party itself is great. For the bigger clubs like in Amsterdam Chow or Paradiso, I mean, they have to have the good sound systems, because the clubber knows their sounds and they want to hear that back.
I think the most important sense when clubbing is provided by the sound system, so I think that's the most important part of your evening. So in a way, I don't agree.
I think that is definitely true, although I do believe that a good sound system is essential. I was at Paradiso yesterday and it was a fantastic show. The sound was terrible, so you know that gets in the way, but of course, you know, you want something nice to look at and you know, a nice drink to enjoy, nice setting, so yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, I think that's correct, yes. To have a really good experience, something like that would be a place I think of like Supper Club, where you go have a good sound system, have a visual attractive setting, have good food, something nice to drink. You can even get a massage or, you know, many different items, and there's like a performance going on at the same time. So all these together, that makes a really good night out.
Time for another stelling, as we say it in Dutch. Mobile phones should be banned from the dance floor.
What's this called? Vodafone?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was doing it today. I was at
yes or no?
I was at a festival, an indoor festival. I will not say which festival it was, and everybody was having a new dance, and that was it. And I was like, I was walking there, and I just couldn't imagine how they were experiencing the music, and I couldn't imagine how they were experiencing the whole vibe, you know. And there was so much with the mobile phone that on a certain moment I started to be really annoyed, because I wanted to listen to some music, and there was actually nobody just into
Even
the
the
music
DJ was
anymore.
going like this.
Yeah, but really, talking to you, standing next to me, but then with my WhatsApp or ping or whatever. So yes, then they should be gone. But I also see different parties where people just really have fun, sometimes make pictures together. Even they don't have the mobile phone anymore, you know. There's a moment where everybody is having their phones, like, you know, we used to have the candles, and then now we all have the phones, you know. There's this moment of, the wow moments are not only the hands in the air, but it's all the phones in the air, and then I like it.
A club should be a dark, dangerous, sensual environment. And when I say dangerous, I don't mean people get killed and shit, but it should feel edgy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're saying on Facebook, oh, look at me, I'm pulling a funny face, or this is so-and-so, or that's not edgy. When I was at Nile Rodgers' concert, I thought this is a perfect moment for twittering, because, you know, Sheila B. Spacer, wow, I've heard that for ages. You know, and that's a different thing, because there's loads of lights, it's a concert, you're going to be in bed by 11 o'clock, you know, if you're lucky. But a club is supposed to be an edgy, dangerous kind of vibe.
So what about this, the other way, like Richie Houghton is using modern technology for enhancing his or the experience when he's playing, or maybe, I don't know if you do anything with that you can influence what the DJ plays, or that kind of, those kind of nights are there also. Are there positive, you know, sides to it?
Some people are looking in an arty way in this, and, you know, then augmented reality is coming in, for example, and, you know, they play some things in the place and in the venue, and when the augmented reality is on your phone. But those people are really more into the digital electronic arts. And if they go into digital electronic arts, the new features, and I really like that. I like that nerdy kind of, you know, artistic way of working with digital art.
So the DJs, they get annoyed from all the mobile phones that are flashing in their face. But the other hand, you have promoters. One mobile recordings from your mobile phones can be a huge hit and can showcase what an intensive moment there was at a club, at a DJ set. So I think we cannot ban it out. It's here to stay.
Okay, I understand why people think they should be, but on the other hand, yeah, I don't think they have to be banned totally, but I do understand why it's annoying, but yeah, just to ban everything, yeah, people have to know themselves what they want to do and if they want their mobiles with them.
No, definitely not. No. I mean, it's fun just, you know, taking pictures, putting them on Facebook, having fun with your friends, letting people know what you're doing. So definitely not, no.
So let's go to the third one of tonight, and that is the era of the superstar DJ is ending. Yes or no?
Don't you love journalists?
Again, yes and no.
Make up your mind.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It's
you know,
black or white.
It's not possible. No, it's not possible. Some people will always, you know, go as a DJ. Some of the DJs will always change a lot of lives, you know. But I've never seen so many young DJs as nowadays, and I've never seen so many DJs I don't know any names of anymore. I used to be programmer and know everybody. I don't know anybody anymore because there's so many DJs, you know. And yes and no. I think both is relevant.
Dave?
That whole superstar DJ thing, it's what I call lazy journalism from England. It's the same as trip hop and stuff like that. I got termed a superstar DJ, and I've never ever considered myself to be one. I don't have a rider of ego. I don't have a whole load of prostitutes following me around. I don't have bucketfuls of illicit drugs. Yes, I've taken private planes. Yes, I even learnt to fly planes at some point because I was flying a lot. But that's out of necessity. To be a superstar is like, you know, it's like DJs are the new rock stars. Well, you know, I'd rather be Peter Hook than fucking Gary Glitter or something.
Sometimes it's even more important who plays the records instead of it's good or not. I mean, if there's a big name playing a certain kind of records, it can still be a shit set, but because he's a big name, people think it's great because he's playing it.
That's always been the case.
Yeah.
Always been the case. Like some of the DJs I know now that are far up the tree were playing Kylie Minogue. Or playing Jan Hammer theme from, you know, Miami Vice and stuff like that because they were doing top 40 nights. And they didn't have the guts at that time to play what the music was coming out of Chicago. And then, you know, they then get somewhere else and then they play that music. Oh, yeah, it's great because that person's playing it. And that's always been the case, and it always will be the case because people's perception isn't necessarily reflective of actually what's happening in reality. Always. You can't fight that. It's
yeah, but
always gonna be
I
like that.
also think the thing of a lot of DJs, I think a lot of young DJs want to be pleasers, otherwise they don't get booked.
Yeah, that's true as well, but there's maybe less character now out there than what there was when we were coming through. I mean, the first gig that I ever did outside of England, Regular Dwarstraat at Richter's, first gig I ever did. I always tell this story. It was unfortunate. Only one was left. One of Milli Vanilli came along and said hi. It's a bad omen because I never came back to Amsterdam for another 10 years. But I went over to Amsterdam because I just wanted to be outside of Brighton. Totally and absolutely committed to try and do my best. I came out here. I got paid just enough to cover the flights and the McDonald's, and that's all I got. And I could have stayed over here for 2 or 3 days. But I went back to my little club where I had 250 people in Brighton, where I had a residency. And I think it's changed now because you were saying you don't know who's coming through because there's so many people coming through that they feel they have to sell themselves out in a way. And also the underground culture isn't so pervasive as it once was. So you don't have all these people really trying hard to make music from nothing anymore, and that makes it difficult for people to come through on their own terms, I think.
Yeah. How do you deal with that at Sugar Factory? Because it's an ever-changing beast
it's like a current,
DJs.
you know. It's changing. It's like the waves, you know. You just go, and sometimes you just go on the top, and you think like, okay, I look in my whole program, and I think, okay, I miss really good headliners, and I talk more to people who are very into headliners, and then I look at the whole thing, and I think I need a lot of more like young, whoever is playing there, but they know exactly how to please the crowd, or they know how to create the new parties, they know how to have their wow moments on their moments, you know, like suddenly I have this black light night and I don't know who's playing, but all I know is everybody is wearing black light and they're all in black light, you know, and they all have good techno, and it's very easy because it's easy to download all the good techno, and they're playing really good techno, and you know, they have an interactive VJ, and I'm really looking at this party and I see 300 people on a Thursday evening and I think like, wow, it's really good, you know? And I like it, but I don't know anybody who's playing.
But I think there's one good thing that's happening, because we came from the heritage, so you know, we're lucky enough to be at the bridge of technology, so we're taking in technology as well. But the new generation that are coming through, they don't have that heritage to bother about in some ways, and you can diss it or you can embrace it. And I think one of the cool things that's happening is that turntablism is turning into controllerism.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of interesting, because that definitely illustrates the change from linear technology to non-linear technology, where people are doing whole new different things without just 2 decks or whatever, without just a mixer. And that's really, really interesting. That's definitely an embracement of technology, and that's definitely where it's going to be going.
You get a lot of music from people who want to be played on your show, obviously. A lot of unsigned guys. What's your take on? I mean, when you say there's so many people making music and DJing, what do you think about the? Well, how do you rate it?
It breaks my heart in a way, which is why I'm still doing the radio show, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of talent, and the infrastructure isn't there to enable them, A, to make a living out of it, B, to even make a half living out of it, and C, to even get recognition. And there's so much talent out there that I have to do the radio show just to pay back the dues, I suppose, you know, just to make sure that they get some recognition. The technology has come down in price, the power has increased, therefore the democratization of the technology enables people to listen to music and make their own take of it. And production now has gone such a way where, you know, like even a few years ago, people still have to go to mastering houses to get that final extra sound. Now they're understanding mastering as well. So, you know, there is so much good music out there, and that's what gives me the strength. I still love the fact that I can be in a hotel room, killing 2 hours if I'm even lucky to have 2 hours, and then I just get a WeTransfer, or you send it, or a SoundCloud, and I think, shit, man, that track is incredible. I have to play that tonight. In fact, it's going to be the first track I play, or the last track I play, or the middle. And before, it would be what you carry around. So that you know, the immediacy of what's happening with music now is very, very inspiring.
Well, the superstar DJ. Yeah, who's the superstar DJ? I don't know. I think there are a lot of superstar DJs, but I don't know if it's ending. Did it ever start? So that's my question. Who is a superstar DJ?
I don't think I agree with that. I think that there is actually an increase in superstars. I think that people need superstars and heroes in a time where there's economic uncertainty. People really would like to have something to cling on to, have a good party, have a big party. So no, I don't agree with that. I think people need heroes.
I think so, yes. I think so. There might still be some going on, but it will be like the old superstar rockstar. There will be older guys trying to keep on to the fame of the past.
Any questions from the audience?
You're complaining about the fact that dance music lacks characters in a certain way, characters like Gaslamp Killer or Dave Clark himself. But isn't it a job as a promoter to create such characters? I mean, Dave had a chance to play in Brighton week in, week out. Gaslamp Killer also started in a little place called Gaslamp, where he played in front of 10 people that became 20 people, 40 people. I don't think there's a night in Sugar Factory where a DJ gets to play 5 hours every week. Isn't that the way that you create
Oh
a
yes,
good
I
DJ?
definitely believe in residencies. Definitely, I believe that every DJ who wants to become a very good DJ, if you have the possibility to get your residency, yes.
And the thing is, I think it's very easy for people to go, it's the DJ's fault, it's the promoter's fault. Well, it's actually no one's fault at all, just everyone has to try harder. And that's that simple. You have to believe in yourself. And if you don't, maybe even bluff it a little bit and hope that your belief carries up to your bluff. And then hopefully that you find a decent promoter that actually then also believes in you. And you're not going to get a Friday or Saturday unless you're really, really lucky, which I was. But I also got that from working on Thursdays at another club. You just have to persevere, persevere, persevere. Treat it as a way of not getting any money for a very, very long time. And then hope that you get that symbiotic relationship with the club, with the crowd, with the promoter. And then when that rollerball's on, hopefully, because the one thing that we're not including in all of this is the L word, which is luck. I don't like luck because luck is unpredictable, but luck is definitely a part of the whole equation. And if you get the luck as well, then you can get onto the next stage, definitely. But I think it's too easy to blame the club promoter or the promoter to blame the DJ. It's too complicated.
I got a question for Dave. I really like what you said about the question of linearity that has gone. The past few years there's been kind of discussion and debate about syncing, synchronizing with all the digital mixing. You don't really need to synchronize, and you can just push a button and it's okay. Old-fashioned DJs seem to moan a little bit about it, that it's not real DJing because the machine is doing the syncing for you. But at the same time, it allows you to do other things, like Speedy J, for example, does, mixing with 4 decks and a drum machine and an effect machine and create like a whole package. What's your take on that?
My take on that is it's in between. DJing isn't just about mixing. It's not just about very speed. It's about the whole choice of music, and it's about engaging the crowd and creating an atmosphere. And there were many, many DJs out there that couldn't mix for shit, and sync that's come along for them has probably saved their careers. And there's DJs that you mentioned, like Joachim, who have a whole history in the whole movement and can actually think, because they've been producing for so long, in a different way as well. I think it just suits different people. I don't know if you were at ADE last year, but I actually did a debate on syncing. And I actually tried to take a back seat on that and not actually be forward and say sync is bad or sync is good. I actually think, again, utilize the tools that suit you. I don't think anyone should be in a situation where they're forced to use the tools. Like you must use sync or you can't. The same with vinyl, actually. I don't think people should say you can't use vinyl or you can, because there's some DJs out there that can definitely DJ very, very well with vinyl, create an energy, create a buzz, not just by looking at them, but also by listening to them. And they can't do that with sync. And there's some DJs that DJ with sync that can't create shit. It's about the quality of the actual person, the artist. And that's what it's all about. It's not about the tools, it's about the artist.